Yo, yo. Happy Sunday. I come check on Mama Ruth's gumbo before we hop on here. Mama Ruth's got her famous gumbo here. Chicken sausage gumbo here. Check that out. Good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see how I share some of this. Let's see. All right, let's go back outside. It's beautiful outside today. Look at that mutt. That's a high dollar mutt right there. Spend all that money on that damn dog and all it does is eat its shit. Can you believe that shit? Yeah, you. All you do is eat your shit. Unbelievable. You too inbred. So let's see what Mama Ruth's doing. I'm having to do her work. Back from the Rood Ranch. Been at the Rood Ranch all weekend long. In the creeks. There she is. There's Mama Ruth. Oh man, what a beautiful day. Anyway, hope you guys are doing good. Let's go have a seat over here. Talk shop. All right, let's see. How do I flip this thing over here? There we go. How you guys been? Hadn't talked to you guys in a while. Let a few people hop on. Talk some shop. Some real estate business and what's going on, current affairs. Real estate's kind of weird right now, but I think there's still a lot of opportunity. I want to talk to you guys about what I'm doing, where I think the opportunity's at, and where I am placing my focus and attention and money going into the future, right? But anyway, if you're new to me, post where you at, who you from, or what you do for a living. If I don't know who you are, where you following from, but I want to get going by starting off that, look, real estate is super weird right now, right? Rates are still pretty high. Insurance is through the roof. Cost of material is super high. Labor still high. And it's hard to make stuff cash flow, right? It's hard to make, especially long-term rentals right now. It's tough to make cash flow. You know, so Mama Ruth and I are focusing a lot of attention on Airbnbs that we can get 2% on our money. And what does that mean? 2% means if I can buy something for, say, let's give a case in point. I just bought a couple of Airbnbs. I just bought an Airbnb on the river, 2 of them here in Lafayette, right outside the city limits where we can still Airbnb. I paid $275 for both of these Airbnbs in the river. One appraised for $351, the other one appraised for $411. So we captured a lot of equity on the buy side. That's the first thing you need to do, is make sure you capture an equity so you can get out of the deal if it doesn't work out. That's the first thing you need to understand. But 2% of your money is going to be basically, if I can buy it for $250 to $275 and I can rent it for $5,000-$6,000 a month. That's going to equate to about 2% of my money after debt, taxes, insurance, and expenses, roughly speaking. That's a gunslinger approach if you're buying property. You can do the same thing with mobile homes. You can do the same thing with short-term vacation rentals or Airbnbs in the right spots. But long-term rentals, dude, it's tough. This 1% rule that people used to go by. I remember when I first got into real estate, 2010, and I read a book that you want to buy the 1% rule, and I was like, man, 1% don't really even move the needle a whole lot. But I guess that's just what you're supposed to do. And it's funny, you start listening to people and you do what you're supposed to do. Supposed to go to college. Supposed to get a good job. You're supposed to invest your money in a 401k. A lot of you supposed to do things end up screwing you. So, but if you're going to buy a rental property right now, it's got to be at the 2% mark, 2% per month. And you buying it at, say, $250 and you getting $5,000 a month will roughly put you at 2%. But mobile homes, like for instance, 2% on mobile homes, I can buy mobile homes brand new for around $45,000 to $50,000, and I'm all in at say 50-ish, give or take. I can get $1,000 to $1,200 a month. That's 2% of my money. That gives me a huge buffer. So now let's talk about what's working and what's not working. For all you guys, listen, wholesaling and flipping was good for the past, well, good up until about 2022, 2023, when interest rates were really, really low and things were good. But it's been tough because now that rates are high, nobody wants to sell and get out of their house. Nobody wants to get rid of that low interest rate. So they're staying there, and there's not as many deals that are moving like they used to be prior to 2022. And on top of that, nobody can afford a $500,000 house no more, right? Single family homes have almost become unaffordable. And this is exactly why you need to look at transitioning into doing what I call the trailer land home package. Some people call it land home package, but I call it trailer land home package because it is a mobile home, where you buy land, you make sure it's zoned for mobile homes, and you drop it, you set it up, you tie it into electrical, sewer, and get everything squared away, and you list it and you sell it. There's a lot of money in that right now. We've got about 15 of those going right now. Now it's got to be the right area. It's got to be right price. You got to make sure, you got to see what double wides are selling for in your area, brand new and used, before you go and do that, to make sure it makes sense. You want to see if you can get anywhere from 200 to 225 in your area for acre of land or half acre or more with a brand new trailer or slightly used, and you'll get good money on those. That's what we're doing. That's what we're focused a ton of attention on that, because for one, it's affordable. Two, it flies off the market. Everything we have that gets listed, it sells within 30 days or less. Three, it's brand new product. You're getting brand new product for the same square footage, right? Now, you do have to be careful if you're competing against like D.R. Horton or DSLD or these big nationwide builders that are building brick on slab houses for $225. This works really well in the outskirts of the city, in the somewhat rural areas. You don't have to be rural, but it works really good right on the outskirts of the city. A good old country boy likes it. You can get an acre, 2 acres. You'll find a blue collar guy to give him a brand new double wide, 15 to 1,800 square feet, and he thinks he's shitting in high cotton, right? That's where the opportunity is right now. Affordable housing is where the opportunity is at. If you can find lots, not to say don't wholesale, don't flip, don't buy into rental properties, but dude, you got to be ultra careful right now, and you got to be ultra dialed in with your skill set. Anybody could have made money from 2010 all the way to 2022. You could have been a man with one leg and one arm and an IQ of 70, and you still made money in real estate. It didn't take a whole lot of skill. It takes skill now. It takes you being methodical. It takes you making sure you're buying right, that you're capturing equity and your numbers make sense. You got to actually know your numbers now, right? Before, you could just overpay for stuff and inflation carried you. Folks, you got to know your numbers. Know your numbers. Now, I'll tell you this. Right now is the time to buy. We're coming into a season and cycle where, and it's in my opinion, you can look at the data, a lot of people are starting to shit the bed. You have the highest delinquencies of payments, I think, since 2008 right now. A lot of forbearances are expiring. People are going to have to start giving their properties away. Right now is the time. Right now the time is going to be to buy, but you're going to have to buy and maybe hold and keep the property for a little while and let things heal, or just wholesale it to an investor like me or somebody else that'll buy from you, right? But right now is the time that you want to start building wealth. There hasn't been, look, I told myself in 2010, I was too young when 2007 and 8 happened, and I didn't have the wherewithal to actually raise capital and buy properties that I can now at the rate I can now. But going into the future, there's probably hadn't been a better time since 2008 and 9 to start accumulating a portfolio at a discount. Everything's falling. Shit, even classic cars are falling. I love old classic Jeeps and Broncos and Camaros and just old cars, right? In general, that shit was so high for the past 10 years. For the first time, I'm seeing huge price drops in everything. Shit, I'm seeing huge price drops in luxury, high-end, short-term vacation areas that we invest in and we love, and like in Destin. You know, we bought a condo late last year that we bought it at a great deal. Now we're buying another one in 2 weeks. That's even a better deal than the one we bought in, I think. Patty, when we bought that condo in Destin?
What?
When we bought that condo in Destin? September of last year? We paid $575. We're buying another one that's basically the same exact unit for $525. I have not seen price drops in good areas like that since shit. I don't ever remember being price drops, right? So, you know, we're buying. People ask me, man, you're not scared of these short-term vacation rentals? No, and there's a reason why, because I know how to make them cash flow really well. For one, you got to buy right, and you got to buy in the right areas. You want to be the most affordable in the most high-end areas. Where we're buying such a high-end area and we're getting such a good deal, and it's a one-bedroom on the beach, and we make it super, super nice. We Mac Daddy it out. That's the key to short-term vacation rentals and even Airbnbs in general. Make them so nice that they stand out. 1. 2, buy from a motivated seller, capture equity. If you're not capturing at least 20% equity or 15%, minimum 10%, then stay away from it. 3, you have to self-manage. If you're not self-managing on a short-term vacation rental or an Airbnb, you're not going to make as much money. You know who's making all the money? The property management companies. You know why? Because they charge 20%. 20% is damn near your margin. So if you buy right, you make it really nice, and you self-manage, guess what? They print money. And that's what Mama Root and I do. We self-manage all of our, well, I say all of them, most of our properties. We're slowly vertically integrating and self-managing all of our properties. By the end of this year, all of our properties will be self-managed. Will be, in-house management on the short-term vacation side. Now, on the mobile home park side, we've been self-managing, especially all of our parks in Louisiana, except for one of them. We've been self-managing all of them. But now the ones we own outside of Louisiana, our partners manage, or we do have outside management. Here's the key about outside management. If you want to buy an asset right now, the numbers are always so tight, you have to make sure you self-manage. That goes for single families. That goes for short-term vacation rentals. That goes for apartments or mobile home parks. The numbers are tight on everything now. Insurance has doubled and tripled. Cost of labor has doubled and tripled. Materials doubled and tripled. Insurance has tripled. Interest rates have doubled. I mean, so if you're not cutting costs, buying right, making it the best product, and self-managing, you shit out of luck. You're not going to be able to make it cash flow, period. Outside of that, we're investing in mobile homes, mobile home parks for cash flow and long-term flips, because I'm not going to hold my mobile home parks forever. We usually hold these mobile home parks for 3 to 5, 4 to 6 years, and we sell them, right? I don't want to hold a mobile home park for 20, 30 years, because you got to look at the product life cycle. What is that going to look like when I go to retire in 20, 30 years? I use that for cash flow in big flips, and I use short-term vacation rentals for store value and long-term retirement. Anything else on the water, on the beach, or in a great area, the real estate's going to always be worth a lot of money. And you don't get the wear and tear, right? You don't get the wear and tear you will on mobile home parks and mobile home park communities. So if I'm working my fast, medium, and slow money, on my fast money, I'm wholesaling a lot more. Single-family homes. I'm not going to flip the single-family homes much. I'm going to wholesale them. On my medium money, I'm going to flip the trailer land home packages. I'm going to find land, and I'm going to drop double wides and single wides to flip. And on my slow money, I'm going to focus on mobile home parks, mobile homes to drop for rent, brand new mobile homes, or newer. If it's old product, then just be careful. Make sure you're watching your numbers, and you're self-managing, and you got good boots on the ground partners. I'm investing in mobile homes, mobile home parks, and short-term vacation rentals and Airbnbs. Now, you understand there's a difference between Airbnbs and short-term vacation rentals. Airbnbs are, excuse me, Airbnbs are, or Airbnb is a site, but typical, everybody thinks I own a bunch of Airbnbs. I own a bunch of short-term vacation rentals. That's different than Airbnbs. We just list our short-term vacation rentals on Airbnb. But Airbnb is being shut down across the country in big cities for the most part. So you got to make sure you're right on the outskirts if you're going to do Airbnb with a single-family home. Otherwise, you're going to have to convert it to midterm. Short-term vacation rentals are vacation destination areas in the city that can't be shut down. They're typically tourist spots, like all the spots we have in Destin, Gulf Shores, Broken Bow, Oklahoma. That's short-term vacation rentals. You don't have to worry about them shutting you down the city. Now, if you buy a single-family home in the middle of the city, and it is Airbnb friendly now, you have to be aware that might get shut down eventually, right? So that's just things you got to be aware of. Like, and you just, man, there's so much bullshit on social media. Like, I watch people running ads, like, subject to, for instance, like buy properties with no money down, no equity, even if it doesn't make sense, as long as it's got a low interest rate and you can take over the... Listen, folks, stay away from that shit. That's hocus pocus. If you can't buy with equity, don't buy it, especially right now. With the market cooling off and everything pulling back, imagine all those guys that got fooled by the sub-2 gurus out there telling you to buy properties with no equity just because they have a low interest rate. At the top of the market cycle, in the biggest bull run in world history, that biggest market bull run in real estate world history, and you bought properties upside down just because it had a low interest rate. What that's going to look like for a year if the market keeps pulling back and you're getting price drops and more price drops, and you got a property that is worth less than what it's worth less than what it's worth, right? You have no equity, or it's upside down, negative equity, and you have a tenant that moves out, and you got to put $5,000, $10,000, even a couple thousand to make ready, and you're upside down. Dude, that's you playing with fire. Stay away from that shit. That's why I want to make the title of this, myths about real estate. Dude, that's a pseudoscience. Now, does sub-2 have its place somewhere? Absolutely. I mean, if you can buy something and take over a note and it's got equity, it's a unique property, it's a great area, yeah, you go ahead and maybe pick it up. But to try to build a whole portfolio of sub-2s at no equity is ludicrous. Insanity. I don't care what the gurus on social media are telling you. I know them all. I'm telling you, that's not going to end well for you. You're going to end up giving that shit up. Now, if you got a ton of money and you can afford, maybe so. Outside of that, you need to buy right. You need to start raising capital. You need to do direct-to-seller marketing. You need to buy right. That's the best way to buy right. You need to learn to raise capital. And you need to look for good partners right now. Because as long as this market keeps cooling off, there's going to be more and more buying opportunities. I don't think the market's going to bounce back this year. It may not even bounce back next year. It might be the year after. And I hope I'm wrong. But with that, listen, we can't continue to have all this inflation, all this government debt, all this just insane money printing. What are we, $37 trillion in debt right now? We run a $2 to $3 trillion deficit every year. This can't continue. This is not going to end well, folks. This is not going to end well. So you need to be ultra careful right now. You need to make damn sure that you are working on your fast and medium money and that you're not just focusing on just rental property. Yeah, there will be an awesome opportunity to buy, but you better have cash reserves. You better make sure that you can make this thing at least cover its debt service until things heal and the economy heals, which may take a year or two. And you better be careful right now. Right? You can't just go around buying everything just because I'm telling you it's a buying opportunity. You better buy right. You better buy the right properties. And you better buy with equity in case you get in a bind. You can go ahead and put it for sale and get out of it. What questions you guys have for me? and look into the, look into vertically integrating, get into the blue collar trades. We're doing a lot of, we vertically integrated we got our dealer's license, so now I can buy in-house. When I do my trailer land home packages, I can buy direct to manufacturer, and I can sell you guys, by the way, mobile homes at wholesale prices if you want to get into the trailer land home package. That's one way we vertically integrated. My son has a junk removal business that I help him with. We have an HVAC company. We're doing our own property management on our short-term vacation rentals and our Airbnbs. That's going to help us, increase profits and vertically integrate. And that's how a lot of you guys are going to have to make it. You're going to have to you're going to have to do double the work to get the same amount of output of revenue or profits right now. You're not going to, the days of just, winging it and barely doing anything because the market just kept inflating over it. The real operators come out now, the real workhorses, the real guys that can create efficiencies and can really keep their businesses lean and mean and profitable are the ones that make it. Yeah, I'm not of the camp that you just keep on scaling and scaling and scaling and get into more and more debt and it just never ends, just more and more debt and more scale. Listen, that sounds good on Instagram and Facebook, but that shit don't check the box in reality, right? So anyway, can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I haven't seen one comment yet. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up here. Yeah, let me type in. Let's see. Can you guys? Mama turned off the waterfall. Can you guys hear me? Anyway, Mama Reed just turned off the pool was making a whole lot of noise. But what questions you guys got for me? Let's see. Trying to see something here. But if you're not, if you're not right now, like trying to figure out how you can diversify and vertically integrate, it's going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough. A lot of these guys are saying, just do one thing and focus on one thing. And if you're a jack of all trades, master of none. I made a post the other day. I've never been a guy that just mastered or just did one thing. I've mastered one thing, but I've always created revenue streams off of that one thing and diversified off the main thing, right? The old saying, a jack of all trades, master of none. But they fail to tell you, a jack of all trades, master of none. Oh, but saying, we can hear you. I'm guessing you can't see the comments. I wonder why I can't see the comments. I don't know why. Swipe left to reveal comments and reactions. Yeah. One of my guys that's on here texted me. Okay, look, now I can see a comment. Okay, good. Perfect. Now I can see. But what's the old saying? A jack of all trades. Okay, great, Emmanuel. Okay, great. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate you guys telling me that. Jack of all trades, master of none, often beats a master of one. You never heard that part of the saying. Everybody talks about, jack of all trades, master of none, but they never heard the last part. A jack of all trades, master of none, often beats a master of one. Because when the game pulls back and all you know how to do is one thing and you're a master of one thing and you ain't got your hands on a bunch of different things, you get hurt. Doesn't mean you jump around. What it means is you master one thing. The cool thing about why I like real estate investing so much is because it's so diverse and there's so many different ways to make real estate and you can create so many verticals inside that space, right? Hey, I appreciate that, James. If you understand how to buy right and you understand the basic fundamentals of what I teach, I don't teach any specialized knowledge to make you think that I'm smarter than all the other gurus out there. I teach the fundamentals, the basics. If you master the basic fundamentals, you can do this. You can do real estate investing and build wealth. Direct seller marketing, raising private money, building a brand, and partnerships, allies, right? If you look at a triangle, right? Direct seller marketing, raising private money, building a brand, and what's the most important in the middle of that triangle? Allies. That's what I teach. Everything else off of that, get that dog away from me.
Oh, come on, Rosie.
Everything else
Come on.
is just
Rosie.
it's just noise, right? In any endeavor, and in anything you do, you master the basic fundamentals. But if you master those three things I just told you in real estate, you can build revenue streams. Case in point, like Ryan, you had that junk removal business, which you inspired me to start that junk removal business with my son. That's vertically integrated to what you're doing in real estate, because you can get deals from your junk removal business to clean out, some of your properties you're buying. You can buy houses from your junk removal business from referrals, because people may not want to spend the money to clean out their house. They just want to sell the property. Another case in point would be a roofing company. That's a great business to vertically integrate as a real estate investor, because you give a quote on a roof and they may not want to do it. They may just want to sell their house because they can't afford it, or vice versa. You're flipping a house, or you own a bunch of rental property, and you're going to need roofs. You're going to need HVAC. You're going to need clean outs. You see how you got to start thinking to vertically integrate? But what I'm most bullish on right now is affordable housing. Until they figure out this shit show they got with all the inflation, and they printed way too much money, and they created way too much disparity in the economy, it is no longer affordable for the average person to buy an average house anymore. This is why we jumped into the affordable housing market as far as the trail land home packages to flip to make money. Not that we're not flipping single family homes, but they got to be below that average household medium. For us, is going to be 250 or 350 and below, depending on what market I'm in. Here in Louisiana, it's going to be 250 and below. Where the markets I'm in Florida, it's going to be 350 and below. Outside of that, I'm wholesaling it. I'm wholesaling, and I'd rather take a smaller rip and not take the chance. So, anyway, don't be stupid. Buy strategically. You hear all these guys, scale, and there's a lot of swinging dicks on social media that like to stack the doors, right? Because it's all ego, right? It's all flash and ego. You want to stack equity. Buy methodically. Even like I just told Patty, we only bought 6 properties in the past 8 months. But every one of the deals we bought were great, fundamental, great buys. Bought with equity, bought with, great areas. They all cash flow. Every one of them cash flow that we bought. So you have to keep your fundamentals in it and just buy methodically. Don't go out there and just start stacking doors. Those guys, they stack doors, right? They stack doors for ego. I've seen them all. I've seen the guys do it. I've done it personally, and I regret buying, because what happens is you lose your fundamentals. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger talk about investing, and I remember listening to Charlie Munger. He's one of my favorite guys to listen to. Has so much wisdom. He says, if you were only given a handful of investments to invest in, you were only maybe given 5 chances to invest in something, or 10 in your whole life, and you can't mess that up, you would be so much more cautious in what you buy and in what you're investing in. And you need to use that same logic and fundamental in investing in real estate. Pretend that you only have 10 properties you can buy in your lifetime, and start thinking like that. Don't just go out there and buy whatever just because it's an okay deal and you want to stack doors to say you have a big portfolio. I'm telling you, that is the worst thing to do. Real estate investing is changed. It's not like it used to be. Rates, it's so hard to make shit cash flow. So when I see guys that's why, look, I think 80 or 90% of multifamily sales have went down since 2023. There's hardly any multifamily sales anymore. Why? Because nothing makes any sense. I never could make sense of why, even when I was coming up, when I started buying mobile home parks in 2016 and 17. I was buying a park every other month. But we bought 19 parks in the past 8 years. I thought our stuff made a lot of sense. We underwrote it. It had a lot of cash flow, and I would get people that would pitch multifamily deals to me. I'm like, you'd be lucky to make $75 to $100, maybe $125 a door. on a 50-unit apartment or a 100-unit apartment, I'm like, this don't make any sense. The numbers are way too tight. Why would you buy that? But they were riding that inflation wave, right? And they couldn't foresee to give themselves enough cushion and enough, I would call a margin of error, a margin of, excuse my French, fuck up. They didn't see that, and that little bit of $100 a door evaporated when rates went up. And not even if you, and maybe let's just say you locked in at 3.5% as a syndicator on a lot of these properties. Dude, insurance doubled and tripled. So that $100 a door you were making evaporated. This is why you have to buy right. You have to buy with a lot of equity, because you can't predict some of these things. It's a lot of people are gonna get hurt, guys. There's gonna be a lot of foreclosures going into the future. Shit, I even got a property right now that I'm struggling with to, can't get it rented because we bought it right, but I mean, there's things that are going to go wrong. Like we bought this mobile home park in an Airbnb area. It was based off of plant work, and we closed on it. And literally 2 weeks later, the plant laid off all the workers, and we can't keep it full. We can't keep it filled hardly. Now it's going to come back eventually. They're going to rehire the plants, but it's taking a little while. So you can't just be an average investor of average intelligence to be a good investor long term. This shit is not for the faint of heart. This shit is, you can't be no dummy and do this. You have to be super smart when you buy. And you got to think of every bad thing that can possibly happen. A lot of people try to get all excited about, doing this game. This is a game, by the way. This is no different than you playing baseball, football, or basketball. This is a game. You got to know your numbers. You got to know the boundaries. You got to know the goals. You got to know your players. You got to know the rules, the expectations. But the thing is, it ain't like a regular game, because if you fuck up, you go into the poorhouse. In baseball, you can bat 300 and go to the Hall of Fame. In entrepreneurship, in real estate investing, you go ahead and bat 300, you go into the poorhouse. So even if you bat 800 or 900, you're still going to get hurt sometimes, 10, 20% of the time. So maybe 1 out of 10 deals you buy is a dud. You see what I'm saying? It's a dud, and you don't, and you got to pull the slack with your other good assets, or you got to carry its weight because you make a bad deal. Dude, that's going to happen. You're going to make bad deals. The key is that did you learn something? Did you learn? Right? You never lose as an entrepreneur. You only learn. And he who can hang the longest, learn from their mistakes, and play the long game is going to make it. You got to play the long game. This shit of get rich quick and doing it in a couple of years doesn't exist. I've been doing this for over a decade now. It took me 5 years to figure it out, 5 years to build, and I'm at year 11 full time now as a real estate investor. And I feel like I finally got my stride. Like I know what I need to do, and I know how to not make mistakes. I know how to do it smarter. But I know the next 10 years, which will put me at 20, 21 years, they're going to be good. Because I know how to buy right. I know, and I felt like I knew how to buy right, the past 10 years. But the past 5 years prior to me going full time, I didn't buy right. I honestly, I've been doing real estate investing for 17 years. The first 5 or 6 years, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Didn't buy right. Bought with a realtor, bought on MLS, didn't understand how to buy off market direct to seller, didn't understand how to capture value, how to raise capital, how to actually buy with value going in. And I lost my ass. So that was the first 5 years. And then the next 11 years, I figured out. I hired mentors, I hired coaches. So the first 5 years, I didn't hire a real estate coach. I just did it on my own. And this is back in 2011. I started buying rental property. I didn't realize there was coaches back then. There wasn't a whole lot of. I don't think there was YouTube and all that, or maybe I just didn't understand. There wasn't a whole lot of opportunities, right, to better learn that kind of stuff from online coaches. But now you have all that opportunity, so you can learn how to do this right from a lot of different people. But you got the the double-edged sword to that also. There's so much bullshit online. There's so much conflicting data that, shit, I don't even know if I want to tell you can trust a whole lot of people online right now. But you have to get some information. You definitely need to get a coach. You definitely need to understand what you're doing before you go at it, because you can blow yourself pretty quick. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to buy. A lot of people are hurting. I'm seeing it. Lead flow is definitely slowed down, but we're still getting deals. It's just my cost per acquisition has went up, right? So you're having to spend more money. So this is why I'm telling you, you got to get real dialed in. We're actually doing a lot of tech splash right now. That's been very affordable, way cheaper than direct mail. That's been working out really well. We're having to dial back. You know, we're doing more guerrilla style tactic marketing to try to get more deals at a cheaper rate to get our cost per acquisition back down. And you know, we're keeping a lot of our deals instead of flipping them now because the market's so soft, especially in the single family homes. I'm keeping a lot of deals and either turning them into Airbnbs or holding them for a little while or just wholesaling them. And then, you know, on the buy and hold slow side, short-term vacation rentals that we can self-manage and get 2% of our money in mobile home parks, in mobile homes. Single-family homes are tough. It's really, really tough right now. And then on the medium money side, we're doing a lot of trail land home packages. So everything's always moving. The thing about entrepreneurship and real estate investing, it's a moving target. As soon as you figure out you got it dialed in, you're hitting that target for a couple of years, guess what? That target moves. And then you got to redial in everything again. And that's what a lot of investors are having to do right now. They're having to recalibrate, redial in, and reshuffle, and reorganize, and recalibrate what's working again and what's not. Everything's always changing. If you're not willing to change, you're not willing to pivot, and that's a key word for you guys that are young in business and entrepreneurship, you always got to pivot. Shit's always changing. And if you're not willing to pivot, you get left behind and you're going to get your ass kicked and you're going to go out of business. So there's always new stuff that's working. That's why I come on here and try to, I'm always at the front of trying to figure out what's working. Now, you can talk about AI, you can talk about all this stuff. Look, I'm not saying AI is not going to disrupt a lot of stuff, but listen, they said ChatGPT was going to disrupt everything. They said cryptocurrency was going to disrupt everything. Then it was drop shipping. Then it was this. Then it was this. NFTs were going to destroy and mess up everything. And now it's AI. Is AI going to disrupt stuff? Sure, absolutely. Is it going to just fundamentally change everything? I doubt it. Things don't move that fast. There's few and far between things that can disrupt that fast. Internet was one of them. Internet disrupted a lot of stuff. Social media disrupted a lot of stuff pretty quick, but it still took time, right? The internet took a long time to really catch on. Social media took a long time to catch on. This shit doesn't happen overnight. So I wouldn't get so, just because there's a lot of fear mongering going on. AI is going to take your job. There's going to be no jobs. Listen, is AI going to fix my toilet? Is AI going to clean my pool? Where Mama Ruth? Where Mama Ruth? Where you at? AI is going to clean our pool, Mama.
I mean, it's welcome to.
It's welcome to, but I doubt it's going to clean our pool.
Same pool guy for 14 years.
That's right. She said we've been having the same pool guy for 14 years. I doubt he's using AI to clean our pool. Is AI going to cut my grass? Is AI going to change my roof? Is AI going to fix my AC? No. So I don't believe all that horse shit that I see on AI is going to disrupt everything. In certain sectors, yes. Factory and stuff that's automated, yeah. I could see how AI is going to disrupt stuff. But the opportunity in what's working is in the work that you don't want to do. I ain't scared to work. I came from hard work. My daddy used to beat my ass and wake me up that butt crack of dawn and go cut the grass, even though I'd cut the grass the week before, just because he knew I had went out the night before. I ain't scared to work. Came from the blue collar trades. I can go back into it. It don't bother me. I ain't but 44. I can still rooster like I used to if I need to. And that's what it may take for you guys doing to figure out where the next opportunity is. The opportunity is in the work you don't want to do. It's in blue collar trades, in the service trades. There's still going to be opportunity in real estate. We just got to have things cool off for a little bit. We need to figure out this inflation problem. We need to figure out this insurance problem, and interest rate problem. Those three things before real estate gets back to where it's just booming and you could be an IQ of 70 and make a bunch of money again. Until then, you need to be smart. You need to know what you're doing. You got to keep your fundamentals in, and you're going to have to work hard. And you're going to have to do double what you used to get the same results. That's the facts. That's the honest to God truth. Your guru is not going to tell you that. He's going to tell you you just do this new sub-2 deal, and you make a bunch of money off the cash flow, or you can buy my AI product and not work, and this will make you a bunch of money, or this thingamajig, or that fancy gizmo or gadget. Listen, it's all bullshit. The money's in the work right now. So if you need help with leads, inbox me lead flow. Our text blasting service is really kicking ass right now because it's affordable. I mean, you can get leads for stupid cheap. Whereas, direct mail, cold calling, you can get leads for cheap, but it eats up all your time. If you want to figure out what's working, this is what Allies Mastermind is about. I bring in top operators from all over the country that are doing stuff that I feel like that's working, and which is on the precipice of working better than what normally works or what used to work. I try to get ahead of the curve, right? If you can get first to what's working, if you can go and try to figure out how somebody's doing something before the rest of everybody else learns about it, then there's less competition. Just like the trailer land home package. I'm going to be teaching the trailer land home package, mobile home park and investing, short-term vacation rentals, raising capital, direct-to-seller marketing. I teach the fundamentals, folks. I don't deviate and jump all over the place. You master the fundamentals. Yes, there's strategic unfair advantages you can learn as you go, but you get really good at the basic fundamentals, and you do that for an extended period of time, and you build wealth. So, if you're interested in coming to Allies Mastermind, June 25th and 26th, New Braunfels, Texas. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Over there by San Antonio, by Schlitterbahn. We have our next Allies Mastermind. We'll be talking about all this. We'll have operators from all over the country in different asset classes, mergers and acquisitions. There's a huge opportunity in that, by the way. Mergers and acquisitions. There's a lot of people that are 60, 70 years old that own companies that you just can't sell, that you could probably pick up for owner finance. We're talking about trailer land home packages, short-term vacation rentals, wholesaling, flipping, business buying, all the stuff that I feel like that's pertinent to what's going on in this economy. So inbox me at Allies, or if you need coaching, if you want to join our meetups that we do here at my house here in Louisiana, in Lafayette. Me and Big Mama Rood, we host an event that we do every other month here in Lafayette at our house called The Alliance for local people. And you don't have to be, you could be somewhat not local, 2 or 3 hour drive. We have a lot of people that come from Houston, Baton Rouge, Mississippi that are, maybe 2 to 3 hours away that come. We do a mastermind here. We bring in operators and talk about different things that are working. You need listen, guys, you need a community. You need allies. You need a group that you can lean on and get some advice from to help support you, right? To help support you and understand that, hey, you're not in this by yourself, because this is a lonely journey. You want to make money, you want to try to build wealth, this is a lonely, lonely game. Most people on the planet are not interested in building wealth and making money. Their sport is watching other people play football or baseball or basketball and cheering them on and wearing their jersey. I'd rather wear my own jersey. I'd rather cheer my own self on. I'd rather make my own money. I'd rather build my own wealth. And I know in business, unlike when I was in school, I can cheat. I can cheat legally, morally, and ethically from other people that are doing the same thing, and they can tell me what they're doing, and I can tell them what they're doing, and we can cheat together, legally, morally, and ethically. So if you want to learn how to cheat legally, morally, and ethically, and you want to be around a bunch of like-minded people, listen, I ain't got friends. I only got allies. You're not going to hear from me wanting to talk about your dog or the weather or current events or sports. I want to talk about, hey, what are you doing? How can I help you? This is what I'm doing. How can you help me? And how can we trade value? That's the name of the game. Is collaboration with a group of people that are aligned with their goals and what they're trying to accomplish in life. And that's how you're going to get ahead faster than everybody else. So hope that helps. Hadn't talked to you guys in a while. Wanted to hop on here, but that's my thoughts going in the future. That's what we're going to be working on. And that's what I think is what I'm most excited about going in the future. Inbox me, allies, if you want to come. Otherwise, if you need coaching, inbox me or go to chrisrood.com or alliesmastermind.com and book a call with me. I'd love to hop on a call and see how I can help you. Otherwise, I'm going to eat Mama Rood's chicken sausage gumbo. Have a happy Sunday. Peace.